Okay, Mochismo Eugene here. Welcome to another video from Extra Strategy, part 5. It shut off and I didn't know, but that's fine. I gotta break this up in pieces anyway. I left off saying, I believe there's childhood wounds with my second wife, as we all have. Once we start identifying a lot of things in our life, we're able to, put that together. But I just don't understand, and she's uh, speech pathologist, the highest pay in her field in the region. She was actually showed me in the book, the Blue Cross Blue Shield book. She was in there, and that says a lot, I guess. And she has degrees. Very, very wonderful, nice, delightful woman. She worked with kids that had arrested speech impediments or delayed speech or couldn't speak at all. It was one she had that this girl's like, at that time had grew up to be 16, 17 years old, and she had all the way from when she was a little child, and it was amazing. I got a chance to meet her one time. But my wife, back to the letters and stuff, I would come in and she had all of these letters, the mail, the bills, and you could see how she had almost, I guess, and you could, I looked at them and they looked like somebody had like grabbed them and did like that, and she had them in her hand, and inadvertently she was doing that, and almost like panic or something to like, I don't know, how the hell am I going to take care of all this, that kind of thing. And me being assertive and assured and confident and knowing we both were making money, no vices, uh, we were living a normal regular life. Even though we was making 200K, we had a lot of expenses, mind you, but we was able to not just manage them, we were right way able to take care of them. But I was not sharing with her how $3,000-4,000 was going to get paid within the next 2 weeks or a week. I didn't have secrets, but she never really asked me, how are we going to pay this? Because she wasn't that type of woman to pry. She just, I guess, she believed and had confidence that it would get paid. But I just think, looking back, a woman needs to know XYZ how this is going to be done. Not just we're gonna take care of it, or I'm gonna take care of it. Don't worry about it. Women really need information more so than a man does. If they go in a store to buy something, and this is just because I pay attention to women more than I did before, because every endeavor is a learning experience for me, and I choose to do this. It's a choice, guys. So I implore you to do the same thing. So I begin to understand a woman, if she goes into a clothing store, how they shop and how we shop. We'll go in and we'll look at a suit on the rack and say, yeah, that one. A woman will put 5 or 6 dresses on, and you'll say, you're so, why are you trying 5 or 6 on? That one fits fine. But she may be looking for something specific to fit her specific. They pay attention to detail, is what I'm saying. And there are a lot of men that pay attention to detail too. That it's a rarity though. Men outweigh women in that. And this is what society is gambling on as well. And that's why I tell you, women, don't believe the hype. What society is brainwashing you to believe, that you're not equal, you're not valued, you don't matter. There are men that truly do see your worth, as we always have. We just need you to be reminded of it by yourself, by way of who you are. And don't let people manipulate you into thinking that you're in a tug of war against men. It's not. God's not happy with that. You're not in a competition with men. Your fight is against yourself. Man, your fight is against yourself and God. Man, woman, the devil is in a fight against you and the man. The devil, the darkness, is triangulating man and woman against one another. So, back to point. Second wife, I was on the way contemplating. And not just that instance with the male, but she just became a tad distant, that I couldn't connect with her. And I now realize, maybe even when I met her, she told me a story. She got diagnosed with cancer, and the guy that she was dating, he ranked up a lot of credit and just bounced when she told him that she was diagnosed with cancer. This is before she even had her uh, her breast removed. She had breast cancer and had a breast removed. I don't know if both or one was malignant, but she had them both and had reconstructed breasts. And when I met her, I remember we was kind of making out, kissing on the couch, and she kind of pushed back a little bit. She's like, "No," she said, "I'm not me." And I didn't know what that meant. And so patiently, I say, "What do you mean?" If a woman tells me that now in 2025 and say I'm not me, I think right way. Oh, thank you for telling me, narcissist. That was a joke. Anyway, I say, I was like, "What do you mean?" I really did like her, and we were just the best of friends. It was kind of like a relationship began just organically as two adults being friends. I don't think I was really in love with her, but I really did appreciate her as a woman and as a wife. And we were like a good team. And so we built so many ponds, koi ponds together. That's something she liked to do. So we dug them by hand too. And until I told her I could do this with the excavator, a little mini, and we can do it quick. And so that's what we began to do. So I, what was I talking about? Yeah. She was a very good woman, and I ended up became distant, and me going to this bank depositing my money from time to time, and this girl, redhead, who hasn't had a job since 2007 when I met her. She hasn't had a job since she birthed these kids, and that was in 2009 when the children were born. And so I met her at the bank. She was a teller, the head teller, long red hair, real slender, about 5'7", 5'8". If you see her now, and I know we change and we age and we different things change, nothing that stays the same, but yeah, evil will find you out. I mean, that's not even being me. I'm saddened. I'm very saddened just to see how she's allowed Satan to do her. But she's relentless. They're going to keep on fighting you, thinking you're the problem, but you're the solution. They're the problem to their own mess, and they can't call it out for what it is, so they need somebody to blame. So I meet her. She's at the bank working. Essentially, go in, and she's always, "I can help you." I'm looking around. There's people, many people in front of me, and I'm feeling like you sing. She's like, "Yeah, you." So I had a contractor's account, but still, that doesn't mean I don't want preferential treatment. But I didn't force myself against it. I go up there. I try to be like peaceable. I don't want to start an uproar, so I go and do my thing. Cash my checks, deposit my money, and go. I had a trailer and the lawnmowers and all that stuff. So go to the drive-through. That was cumbersome, so I would go in occasionally. So I could see how she was doing a little, little body language, flirting, whatever, and I would just pass it off and say thank you. Because girls in the bank will do that. They'll do that, especially if they see your checks and they see the revenue you putting in that account. And this was her whole primary motive for trying to seduce me, and inevitably, I think she got my interest, and I took her some lunch in there from Wendy's or something. Got me a number 5 or something, and got her one. And this was my thing. I laid it on the table and said I was hungry, and I thought you were too. Laid it there and walked out. And so all her girlfriends obviously was like, "Ooh," And I did it in front of them purposely, and it's kind of like I thought I was doing something, and I ended up. Consequently, we I guess exchange numbers, and this is why I was yet still married. I'm being very honest with you guys. Someone else taking your interest while you're yet in a situation that you haven't figured out, not a good move. I did this, and at that time, I possessed a convertible Corvette. Like I said, me and the second wife, who helped put me on tremendously. We had some nice stuff, but we were just normal, everyday people. And the vet, I rarely drove. I drove it occasionally when I had time or going to get a part from somewhere. I didn't want to take the truck and all that stuff hooked to it. And a couple times I took it to the bank, not to be flamboyant. I rarely wanted anybody to know I, had, little things like that, because I would normally be in my truck. But on this particular day, I drove it. And I don't think she ever knew I even had it until one day when I asked if she wanted me to come to her house, and I did. And I went to her house in the vet, and I took her for a ride. We went in the country, a few miles outside of her house, with the top down, and she, nonchalantly acting like, she was chill, wasn't captivated at all. And I kind of liked that because she wasn't like pouring it on too thick. And I was loving the long flowing red hair. I really wasn't in the redhead, but again, the way that this narcissist, I think, seduced, and you might not even have an interest in that particular type of woman, but a narcissist can read and find out your weak spots, and they know how to channel those. Whatever those weak spots was, I guess she was zoning in on them. If it wasn't nothing but her just playing along to match my energy, that was probably enough to get me into the driver's seat. No pun intended, or pun intended. And so took her back home, and I guess it's safe to say we ended up getting to know each other a little more better. And I can remember a time I initially got a hotel with her, and she was married to who I later got a chance to sit down with, and he laid it down. This was when we were all in custody court, and he finally got custody many years after I discovered what she was and was away from her. It was actually about 5, 6, 7 years ago we had this talk, me and this guy, first husband. And he told me just what she really does. She doesn't pay the mortgage. She just was a real nightmare. And I knew more now than I ever knew, and it made sense on how she met me, and it all fell apart. See, narcissists are playing a game as adults, but they're kids. They're playing dress up. And so this is why when you find out all you've been going through with them is a lie, it is very much what they do on a regular. So you're just the last person to know. And if you look back really good, you'll see most of what they did was childlike. There was only instances where they seemed like they act like adults, but you were carrying them. You were acting like the adult, and they were just following suit. They didn't have any ideas of their own. They didn't make sound decisions as adult as you did. They rode the back in the wave of your decisions. Case in point, you say, yeah, I think we should do that. Like, whatever you think, that's not adult decision. They're just riding the wave of what you just said. That's having you believe that they're no trouble, they're no problem, they are letting me take the lead. That's how that translates. But they're not letting you take the lead. They just allowing you to think that they are on the same page you're on. They're just hitchhikers. A hitchhiker might say, or a person that asks you for a ride, throw them a ride, say, can I give you some money? The narcissist jumps out of the car, don't even say thank you. That's kind of the relationship, if I was using that as a metaphor. They don't even say thank you. They don't even shut the door when they get out of the car. That's metaphorically of a relationship, because they're not in it for the right reasons. They're not in it for the you and them. They're in it for them. So at least you could have shut my door. And they'll steal stuff out of your car, giving them a ride. You'll be fishing over here with one hand, getting stuff out, and you won't be none the wiser. You'll be looking for that tape measure that you kept in that passenger pocket door, and it will be gone. And you'll find yourself buying a tape measure every week. That's not a metaphor. As a contractor, that can happen, especially when you get klepto-narcissistic workers. Lock your tools up, and you hand them out like you would at a company. You have to take this tool, check it out, sign it out. That's how you have to work with a narcissist. So, I got involved with this redhead. Soon after she got pregnant, that's when she began to change. And when I say change, she really became who she really was. They go, the mask comes off. What I'm telling you guys in the next few minutes here is, as I sit here, not putting thought into it in a big way in times past, because I've been channeling this border post not postpartum this Munchausen syndrome by proxy as it pertains to the children's mother. But as much back as far as maybe at least 2 years ago, I've been really calling it what it is. Yet another narcissist. In her whole family dynamic, the narcissism is so apparent there. They just lost, she just lost a father, and simultaneously, she obtained sole custody of my twins as we speak. And I was a tad more bothered by it at first, but I'm going back to show you, for me making these 4 or 5 parts, God don't make no mistakes. And the whole thing I've gone through in that isolation way back in prison, was preparing me for days like this. It not only was preparing me to tolerate it, but the temperament in tolerating it is something that you can't mimic, you can't wing it. I miss the kids being here, but this is a moment that God wants me to step into purpose in a brand new way, in a fresh way, to see something and to say something. This is a time that He's allowing me to use for me in order for me to pour out into you. And I'm going to damn well do that. I'm going to add some more parts to this, maybe 1 or 2 more. I don't know if it's any further I need to go, other than adding with this baby's mama, the court, and all of these 15 years of family court. I may or may not do that, because I think you guys already know where I'm at. I've brought you up to speed as far as where I'm at present. So we'll be going to court soon here, and I just know the custody as it stands until she screw up very bad again like she did before. I'm going to definitely stay steadfast in litigations with them. Not so much because I'm interested in custody so much. I'm interested in just the sheer fact of how they dropped this ball years ago and they want this to go away. They don't give a damn about kids. They don't give a damn about safety and the welfare of kids. The powers that be. I can stand on this. I have valid proof to back up everything that I'm saying about these entities. They don't give a damn. But God has given me a certain amount of peace to carry me through this, and I can't wait to come out on the other side and look back and show you guys that not only did I say this, I believed this, but it happens just as much as you put your dependence in God. But in the meantime, He wants you to educate, elevate, and vibrate so you can be a help to humanity rather than a hindrance. That being said, bless.